very popular technique these days, thanks to Scott Kelby, is the idea of making Euro collages, and one part of that is to add your own grids. We're going to show how to make patterns with grids so you can use those on layers and do all kinds of interesting things. So what we're going to do is make a new document. You can do this in a couple of different ways. Personally, I like to do it so that I know exactly the size of my grid. Let's say I want a half-inch grid. I'll just make a new document that's half-inch by half-inch at the correct resolution. And then in that new document, make a new layer and then hide the background. We do that because I want my grid to be see-through. Then I simply select all on this new document and then go to the edit menu and choose stroke. And then we decide what color. I'm just going to use white. It's fine. Let's get white there. Okay. And then you have to decide the size of your grid. I'm going to do a 2-pixel width stroke. Click OK. Now you can't really see it, but you'll see it shortly. This point, we simply go to the edit menu and choose define pattern. Give it some name if you want. I like to be very specific so I know what it is. So 0.5 grid. Click OK. And now we can close this document because it's basically served its purpose, which was to define that pattern. Now that pattern is available at any time. So there's now a few things I could do. For example, let's just add a new layer, and then we'll choose the fill command. Instead of filling with a background color or a foreground color or something like that, what we'll do instead is tell it to fill with a pattern. And then I simply have to go in and look through the various patterns I've created. And down here at the very end should be the last one I just did, which is my half-inch grid. Click OK. And now it'll fill the whole thing with the grid. And of course, then at this point we can lower the opacity and do whatever we want. So that's one possibility. The other one would be to, again, make a new layer, but this time, instead of just filling it, is to actually make a selection. I'm just going to use the rectangular marquee tool with the Shift key held down and just make kind of an odd collection of shapes here. I'm just doing this completely randomly with no real plan of attack. And then with that, now do the same thing, choose fill. And of course, in this case, it'll only fill the select area with my pattern. Deselect. And then we can do things, again, like lower the opacity. And also use commands like free transform. This is where it can start to get interesting if you start to hold down certain key combinations. I'm going to do Command Option Shift or Control Alt Shift to do more of a perspective kind of idea. It looks pretty bad until you hit Enter, and then it smooths it all very nicely, and you've got an interesting kind of effect for your Euro collage or other techno artwork you might be doing. I'm Dave Cross. Thanks for watching another one of our tips, and hey, it's summertime. Don't forget to stay cool. See you next time.